Previously, we heard that Hanabi confessed to Sanae that she was having a fake relationship with Mugi. One night Hanabi and Mugi saw Miss Akane making out with a young guy in the restaurant, and she asked them to keep it secret. Later Hanabi realized Akane had already found her unrequited love for her brother Narumi. Episode 4. On one day, Akane is traveling in a train, and two guys sit next to her. She smiled and said it felt so good. She likes to stay close with men. Maybe it's not her fault, because people are always interested in individuality. At that moment, she heard a voice calling her name and reminiscence her school days, when a boy was returning her handkerchief. Akane knows that guy is her friend's big-time crush. Even she thought they could make a perfect couple. As her friend is watching this, Akane purposely grabs his hands and starts to flirt with him. He also blushes and comes close to her. Honestly, she is not interested in the way we think and doesn't like him either. But she desired her friend to watch them and liked to receive the yearnings from her friend. She cried and ran away. Akane followed her to the ground and approached her. She apologizes for running off so suddenly and says she is surprised to see their relationship, and with tears, she says she is happy for her friend. At that moment, Akane was getting new feelings. It's not guilt for purposely getting attention or superiority either, but she knows one thing for sure: she really likes to exploit her friend's desire. From that day on, Akane could never let go of exploiting people who were interested in individuals. Akane's inner voice says, "Maybe I just love myself so much." Back in time, Akane is sharing a bed with the young guy from the restaurant named Takuya Terauchi. She really enjoys exploiting people and taking men away from women. She asks Takuya what happened to his new girlfriend, and he replies that they broke up a long time ago. Akane's feelings drifted away, and she wondered if there was no one out there to fulfill her loneliness. She couldn't imagine being able to love someone other than yourself. And they start to mess things up. The next morning, as Akane and Narumi were walking together, she noticed Hanabi is longing by watching them. Narumi blushed and asked Akane if she could come to a cafe after school. Akane knows it is a confession, but she sees Hanabi running towards her, and so she wants to use this opportunity to exploit her, because now Hanabi has the tenacity to talk with her. Akane denied his request and asked him to meet her after school in the music room instead. As Narumi leaves, Hanabi approaches her and asks if they were dating last night. She replied that they were not dating, he was just a friend. Akane knows that is not what Hanabi is expecting from her. Half a year ago, Akane met Hanabi for the first time, and she is very popular among the boys and everyone's big crush too, but she has not realized that yet. However, Akane notices that right away and thinks Hanabi is just like her and belongs to her side. She never imagined someone like Hanabi would let her guard down. Akane discovers Hanabi's love for Narumi, and she decides to exploit her, saying it's all her fault. Akane approaches Narumi, and he blushes harder for staying close with Akane, and Hanabi walks out of the classroom. Akane watches Hanabi leave with a sad look on her face. She really likes to see a hurt expression on her sweet face. Back to the present, she wants to receive more yearning from her. At that moment, the school bell rang, and Akane rushed to the next class and asked Hanabi to meet her after school in the music room, and she ran away. Akane's inner voice had an evil laugh and said, "I can't wait to see the devastation look on your face." After school, Narumi is waiting for Akane in the music room and wonders what Akane will reply to his love proposal. And time jumps to one spring day, Narumi's first day at school as a teacher. Narumi is walking to school and wondering if his mother would be proud of him. His mother passed away when he was little, and all he remembers about her is her long thick hair. There he meets Miss Akane Managawa with long thick hair for the first time and falls in love at first sight. Narumi is lying on his desk in the staff room. Akane approaches Narumi and takes off the cherry blossom on his head. She asks him if they can stick together since they are both new teachers at the school. Narumi was surprised and wondered why she was so good with him. Back to the present, Narumi is waiting for Akane in the music room. As Akane enters the music room, Narumi blushes and is scared to confess his love, but at the same time, he can't lose this opportunity, so he takes a deep breath and says, "Miss Managawa, I'm in love with you." It's not a big deal for her, but Hanabi is watching all this in the doorway. Akane smiled at Hanabi. She is frustrated and runs to the dark room. She knows she has no right to shed tears after all. She knows it's too late, but she couldn't bring herself to let go of him. She always knew this would happen, and it hurt so much to watch them together. She wished to be brave like her brother and confess her love for him whom she really likes. She spends a lot of time with him, but she is scared to tell him that she really loves him. Hanabi's mirror image says that she is pathetic, telling her that's why she lost him in the first place. Hanabi went to Mugi's home. Before ringing the bell, she reminds that she has been using Mugi for her own desires. Mugi is also devastated just like her, after seeing Akane with her former student. She wants Mugi to let him be, and she leaves the place, saying she needs to rely on herself. As Hanabi was walking home with a sad look on her face, she heard Sune's voice from behind asking, "Are you not going to Mugi's home today?" Hanabi turns around and asks if she is following her. Sune blushed and said, "Yes, why is that weird?" Hanabi's eyes filled with tears, saying, "How could you possibly like me so much?" She hugged Sune and apologized for knowing how she really felt. She realized Sune was also in the same position as her, bearing the significant pain of unrequited love. She feels sorry for ignoring her all the time. Sune said, "It's okay, and I don't care," but her inner voice reveals that it is not okay to be ignored. She's been through a lot, but that doesn't stop her from loving Hanabi. She came close to Hanabi and kissed her. Then they hang out in Sune's bedroom. Sune holds her hands and lays on top, but Hanabi doesn't want to. She covers her face and turns away, saying she couldn't do this with her best friend. Sune grabs her hands and kisses her deeply, asking Hanabi, "You did this with Mugi, right?" Sune asks Hanabi to tell her if she doesn't want to do it. Hanabi's eyes filled with tears, and she said, "I won't, because I care about you." Sune knows that she is someone special to her, and she really cares about her as a friend. That's why she couldn't bring herself to say no to her. Sune wants to fulfill her desires as much as she can, because she knows Hanabi will never fall in love with her. So Sune wants to take this as an advantage for ignoring her all the time in the past, and wishes to take whatever she can. On the other hand, Hanabi is thinking about Narumi and confessing her love in the fantasy. She needs to think about her brother as much as she can, to feel his every touch. Hanabi kisses her and starts to play around, but deep down, no matter how hard Hanabi thinks about her brother, she feels the soft and sweet lips, instead of the rough ones. However, she wants to fulfill her loneliness and really starts to like those soft feelings being touched by her girlfriend. Hanabi tells Sune that she feels so good when she touches her down. Sune hugged her and said, "That's because I really love you, Hanabi." Hanabi is mesmerized that Sune can give so much passion about love, and she wants to fill her space with all of them. Hanabi used Sune as much as she could. After having a sweet time, Hanabi is walking to her home. Her mirror image reminds her again, saying this is all your fault, telling her that she took advantage of someone's true feelings, and that she is no different than Akane, mentioning that you are nothing but scum, and fades away. Hanabi knew that already. Akane had dominance as a woman and stood above her imaginations. Akane already knows her feelings for her brother, and she is purposely hurting her again and again. She knows she is no match for Akane, but soon she will be. She decided to change herself and believes she could win against Akane. The next day at school, Akane asks Hanabi which causes her more pain, Mugi or Narumi. Hanabi is shocked that she already knows Mugi's feelings for her too. Akane keeps triggering her, so Hanabi breaks out and asks, is it really so much fun for her, to be loved by people she doesn't even like? Hanabi was frozen with fear when Akane smiled and gave a psychotic reply, saying that, being desired by men and taking them away from someone, there is no greater feeling in the world.